Good morning to all. Welcome to the ECG interpretation made easy class. Today I am going to discuss about the QT interval. So what does it represent? QT interval represent the total duration of ventricular systole, that is ventricular depolarization and repolarization. So how to measure the QT interval? It is measured from the start of the Q wave to the end of the T wave in either lead 2 or V5, V6. So how to calculate when U waves are present? So large U waves more than 1 millimeter that are fused to the T wave should be included in the measurement, whereas smaller U waves and those that are separate from the T wave should be excluded. So in this ECG, the QT interval is calculated from the start of the R wave as the Q wave is absent. It's 8 small boxes, each small box equals to 0.04 second, so the total duration is 0.32 second. The QT interval is inversely proportional to the heart rate. The QT interval shortens at faster heart rates and it lengthens at slower heart rates. So to determine whether it is a normal or not, it should undergo adequate rate correction, that is known as corrected QT interval. It is calculated using Besset's formula. It is nothing but QT interval divided by the square root of the preceding RR interval in seconds. So in this ECG, the actual calculated QT interval was 480 milliseconds, but corrected QT interval was 537 milliseconds with a heart rate of 75 beats per minute. So definition of QTC based on age and sex specific criteria. In children, adolescents and in women, when the duration is more than 0.46 seconds, it is considered as prolonged QT. But in men, when it is more than 0.45 seconds, it is considered as prolonged QTC. So why should you worry about QT interval prolongation? Because an abnormally prolonged QT is associated with an increased risk of ventricular arrhythmias, especially tortious D points. The causes could be either congenital or acquired. Among congenital causes, Romanov-Ward syndrome, Jervell-Lange-Nielsen syndrome are the common causes. And drugs like antiarrhythmics, antibiotics, antidepressants are the common cause of acquired QT interval prolongation, followed by myocardial ischemia. And electrolyte abnormalities like hypokalemia, hypomagnesemia, hypocalcemia. The neurological causes are intracranial hemorrhage, and endocrine causes are hypothyroidism and pituitary insufficiency. Signs and symptoms. Most people don't have any signs or symptoms and usually diagnosed after a person has a cardiac event, or some situations it is diagnosed after a family member suddenly dies. And syncope is the most common symptom, and it can occur with a little to no warning, and patient might faint when excited, angry, scared or during exercise. And things that startle, for example a telephone ring or an alarm clock sound, can cause syncope. And seizures also can occur in some people, and it might occur during sleep also. And findings on physical examination are usually normal, and results of an ECG done for an unrelated reason may show prolonged QT. And some patients may have hearing loss, indicating that the possibility of Jervell-Lange-Nielsen syndrome. And Jervell-Lange-Nielsen syndrome is a autosomal recessive long QT syndrome. It is associated with severe bilateral sensory neural hearing loss. But Romanov-Ward syndrome is autosomal dominant and there is no congenital hearing loss. And management and prevention of sudden cardiac death. The first important step is the avoidance of QT prolonging drugs. So the common drugs that cause QT prolongation are asthma medications, antihistamines, antibiotics like erythromycin, and quinidine, procainamide, isopramide, and gastrointestinal medications, cisapride, antifungal medications like ketoconazole, and psychotropic medications like tricyclic antidepressants and potassium-losing diuretics. And second step is the correction of electrolyte abnormalities that may occur during diarrhea, vomiting or metabolic conditions. And beta blockers are given for all patients, and implantable cardioverter defibrillator placement with the use of beta blockers for patients with previous cardiac arrest. And patients with long QT syndrome should avoid participation in competitive sports, strenuous exercise and stress related emotions. Thank you.